Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Brian and in today's video we're going to be sharpening chisels. Not only because this is a good skill to learn to do, but because my chisels need sharpening. So if you've just gotten a new set of chisels, or if your chisels are dull, what you'll see is that you won't be able to see this on the edge of my chisel, but you can see this in the picture, that the edge is rounded. So this is a dull chisel and what it looks like if you did a close-up view. You might even have, for a used chisel, some fragments that have been taken out over time. But we don't want a dull chisel. Instead what we want is we want a sharp chisel. We can create a sharp edge by having two flat faces that come together as shown in the picture below. So usually the first step in our sharpening process is to flatten the back side of your chisel, not the beveled edge. And so what we want to do is flatten this back. The worst case scenario is that if you have a chisel and there's like a lump on the back side, this will take forever to grind and you should send that back to whoever made it. In contrast to having a lump on the back of your chisel, you could have a hollow ground out, and you can see this in the picture. And this is what Japanese chisels do, and here we're just using a typical bevel chisel, bench chisel instead. We could create a sharp chisel just by making a flat back and also making a flat primary bevel. Here you can see the angles of our chisel in our picture. We have the rake angle, and the primary bevel is usually the angle we talk about. If we just sharpen the primary bevel, then we're going to have a lot of grinding to do and honing and polishing whenever we resharpen our chisel. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to grind the primary bevel down, and then we're also going to grind what's called a micro-bevel or a secondary bevel at the edge of this chisel. And this will be done typically at a higher degree. So for instance, our primary bevel might be at 25 degrees, and then our micro bevel or secondary bevel might be at 30 degrees. And so when we resharpen, all we have to do is just resharpen that small little area that is our secondary bevel or our micro bevel. We now start our sharpening process by flattening the back of our chisel. We're going to do that by using a series of waterstones. We'll start with a coarse waterstone, move to a medium and fine, and what we're going to do is rub the back of our chisel with the flat part along the top of our surface of our waterstones. We could use a protractor to set the angle of our primary bevel, but this tends to be unreliable and inconsistent. While some people can completely sharpen by hand, it's typical that most people will use a honing guide, as I've shown here. The honing guide allows us to just change the stick-out length of this, and that will innately set our angle when we go to sharpen. So I made a mark on my bench that corresponds to 25 degrees. And so what I do is I push my blade out until I reach that mark, and then I set it, I lock this in, and then now I'm ready to start the sharpening process of the primary bevel. Now that we've established the primary bevel, we put the chisel back into our honing guide and we set our stick out length to what corresponds to 30 degrees. And then we lock it in and we go sharpen the micro bevel or the secondary bevel. As a reminder, whenever you go to resharpen your chisel, all you need to do is polish and hone the secondary bevel or the micro bevel. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you back soon.